Well, ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, and everybody else, we're back. We've made it. We've got through a week of critique from our pilot that we started last week. Lots to learn, lots to work through, plenty to add to this. What a week! What a chaotic week where we spent a lot of time in trying to put our first episode onto YouTube, and also put our all our episodes onto TikTok and Instagram with some success and some very positive reaction, which has given us a reason to come back this week. More importantly, the chaos of this week has been the production of our guest list, our target guest list, and I can reveal that we are hoping to have a very, very, very esteemed guest coming into episode 3 next week, where he's a rising star in the boxing world in Australia, born in Auckland, New Zealand. He's got 11 wins and a 1 draw record, and he is very keen to come on, and we are hoping to have him on the next episode to be dropped next week. The chaos has not just been that everyone that we actually referred to have all said yes, they would love to be on our show. So we've got some. There's a few to be confirmed, but we've got some great shows to come up. And as we thought, if we can get our guests on board, we'll be off and running. Troy, how was your week?
Yeah, 100%.
What's the highlight?
Building this thing, getting it out there. We're on YouTube, we're on Instagram, as you mentioned. We're on TikTok. We haven't been banned on any yet, so that's positive. And we're getting some likes. That's that's good. People are having a look, they're liking, they're sharing, and that's what we need people to do. If you are following us on any of those platforms, give us a like, give us a follow, give us a share. Yeah, we appreciate it. But doing a bit of work behind the scenes, talking to that potential guest. Bumped into them on the weekend, so had a bit of a positive chat, and very keen, to come on. Excited about what we're doing, trying to be a little bit different than the norm. So we'll do a bit of work over the next few days and get some messages out and get a bit of an agenda ready for next week.
Yeah, look, mate, the variety of this show is going to be, as we've mentioned, it's going to be all about punting, music, sport and life, and the variety of this show, the guests are going to be from the boxing world, from the rugby league world. At this point, up until now, there'll be more coming. Therapy, fashion, retail, podcasters, the hospitality industry, HSEQ advisor, and is writing a book about motorbike riding and safety and how that blends in. Retirees, semi-professional punters, personal trainers, baseball professionals, DJs, yes, DJs.
I think it's getting bigger.
They'll be on sooner or later, and then ex rugby league officials and administrators. So there's a bit of a slant to rugby league, but tonight we're going to lean straight into the rolling the dice. This show is all about rolling the dice. We called for a reason that we would come up with 6 topics, and we will roll the dice. And tonight we're going to test the dice on Troy and myself. Now, some might ask where we got roll the dice from. Troy, do we go there yet, or is that something for a later episode?
Let's hold it. Let's hold it.
Yeah,
people that know us. But let's just keep the intrigue there for a little bit longer.
Yeah. We might do that because but some can, by all means, come back to us and test us out. I reckon there's a few people out there who might be able to guess where the dice comes from and what it means, and being able to roll the dice and come up with a number and delving down the depths of that topic. So I think we might get started.
Let's go, mate. Let's roll the
All right.
dice.
And look, and this is the dice. This is it. This is it. This is my dice.
No
I sat
expenses
there.
spared on this show.
Oh mate, I sat there and tried to work out how do I throw a dice, and am I technologically sound enough to get a dice to come up on our screen? Not yet, but at the moment I can just press a button on this phone and up comes my app that says roll the dice.
Yeah.
We might have to claim some royalties off these guys. So here we go. First one up. Oh, it's a 6.
Oh, 6.
We've gone
it's the bottom of the bottom of the list.
Oh, maybe the quality of the list. Number 6
could be,
and look, and that is the rise of micro betting. This is a topic that I came up with late this afternoon because of some of the stupid things I've been doing. And please gamble responsibly. We got to get those caveats out there.
Always.
But some of the things that are available out there where you can turn $1 into thousands and thousands of dollars just through multi-betting. And it appears that everyone seems to be having a flutter on every ball and every play and every moment. And the question I put to you, Troy, is it fun or is it cooked?
I've got a real opinion on it because I don't really do it, but I know a lot of people that do. A bloke I work with is showing me a 17 or 18 leg AFL disposal multi he had on the weekend and he missed by 1, right? So to me, it's a little bit of a lottery.
Hang on.
You are picking lotto numbers. The more markets you throw in, obviously, the tougher it gets. Personally, I go out to maybe 3 when I'm doing a multi, and it's mainly on horse racing and place betting. But my dislike to it, if I can say that, is around what people that don't have a punt, they don't get, right? So it's open to match fixing, corruption, and things like that, and that's been a fear of people in this country, the government in particular, who don't like us to have a bet online in play, and that was because of a lot of the micro betting markets that are around, particularly cricket. What's the next run going to be?
We can expand on that because you and I both attended, and that's going way back, that'd be nearly 10 years ago, wouldn't it? When maybe a little bit less. I can't quite recall. Yep. I was a guest of yours. We won't tell anybody why I was a guest of yours, but we were invited to a Betfair function at Sydney Cricket Ground, and it was to promote the ability to bet on every ball and every play of T20 cricket, which was right up my alley because I've loved T20 cricket since it's come out. And the only issue is you couldn't bet live because of the rules in Australia, but it's encouraged back then, which you can't do now. And you'll be better off expanding on this. Can't do it now. Is encouraged to get a VPN and as though you're betting outside the country and coming in. And it was exciting, but it's also scary. But it stimulated me as a low rate punter as far as low rate punter as far as investments concerned. But it stimulated me because of the opportunities and being able to watch a game of cricket. And for 3 hours, you can almost have a bet on what the next play was going to be. And you can still do that if you're prepared to ring up and say, "Oh, mate's going to, hit the ball for 6," or "Mate's next ball is going to be a no ball." And that's what you're talking about regards the potential match fixing. But is that with regards to VPNs? How did that all change, mate?
Look, it just became tighter. The government obviously put a lot more pressure on the bookies, and they really shut it down. If you want to have those bets now live in play, obviously you've got to pick up the phone and make the call, and a lot changes in 30 seconds, 45 seconds while you're on the phone. So they've made it they've made it a lot difficult. So that's more the in play type of micro betting. But I guess what we kind of talking about now is your pre-game, looking at first try scorers, looking at NBA rebounds, your triple threes and all that sort of stuff, and AFL disposals and things like that. So that's where a lot of people are getting involved in it, and it is heavily promoted, everywhere about.
Well, I've been testing the theory. I've been testing the theory, Troy, for the last couple of weeks. I've been dabbling in the table tennis market for nearly 6 to 12 months now, and I've had a couple of wins. The key for me is I might throw $1 on and just to see what might happen. The problem is that not everyone gets that. Even $5 becomes a risk when realistically the only reason why you're getting such big odds is because of the chance of it actually coming off. But if you think you can turn a $9,000 stake into $45,000 by putting $5 on it, there's plenty of people having a go at that, but that becomes quite absurd with the thing. Yeah. But just to give you an example of some of the bets I've had this week, just to test the market, I've had a 32 leg multi in across basketball games this morning, 42 leg multi, and to be honest, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got 7 legs wrong, but I had 42 a go at 42 legs. I'll just give you a couple more. There's a couple that were voided, which is disappointing because I only got one of those legs wrong, and that was like a 36 leg multi, and with a return of $9,000 for $1. So I was really disappointed that got voided. But then, like, there's been others, and that was on basketball. Mate, I've got no idea about basketball. That I couldn't tell you about, but I couldn't tell you whether. I got realistically, I don't really know. I don't really follow AFL close enough, but there's so many markets in AFL with regards to disposals and goals and such. So there's so much to bet on, and you do get the opportunity to go onto other people's feeds and just copy what other people are betting.
Yeah.
So you can copy.
Yeah, that's a thing now.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and like even when I do multis on sports that I do know about, rugby league being one of those, I'll post to my feed what I've had a bet on unsuccessfully. So it's certainly a topic that's growing. It's made for every dollar that the betting agencies get is $1 out of our pocket. Like they'll take it wherever they can get it, and again, gamble responsibly. If you get a $9,000 one off, you beauty.
Yeah. Do you think it'd be the wrong time to give some advice on those people that have got like 32 legs and have got 31 out of 32 and what they should do with it?
No,
or should they reach out and reach out. If you want to know, reach out. Yeah, right. Send us a message through Insta, TikTok, or on.
Well, what do we do?
Yeah, no, and I'll give you a bit of advice on how to turn that into guaranteed winning. So a lot of people are going to know how to do it, but there's going to be some people here that get to that point and go, do I cash out? And generally what the bookies will give you a cash out price. It's not that good, but there is a way to make some decent money out of it if you do get to that point of getting to your last leg and you're like getting a bit nervous on what I'm going to do. So there is a way. There is a way.
You don't have to wait for that $5,000 to go to $40,000. There is another way of getting close. So, good point. Yeah. We might move on from there. Okay, time to roll the dice again, mate. Let's go.
Oh, we're going again.
Oh, 6 again. Try again. 6 again. Try again. Here we go. We got a 2.
Oh,
this 2. Is yours.
Oh, here we go. This is Harry Maguire. This is one of my picks to throw on the dice. Harry Maguire and Manchester United. It was actually one of my highlights this week to see that United have extended Harry for another 12 months, and I think it's fantastic. I don't think there'd be a lot of people that would agree with me, but that's okay. We're all free to our opinion. But that guy has been quite solid. His last couple of years, he's been really, really good in a team that hasn't been great, poorly managed. And we can talk about this with a little bit of passion, both of us, because we're both Manchester United supporters. Don't hold that against us if you want to still listen and click, because we will talk about other teams as well. But, like for a bloke that's had the captaincy stripped off him, a lot of people would drop their lip and ask to get out of the place. But he's a soldier as far as I'm concerned. He's been solid as a rock. He scored some amazing goals to get us out of the shit. And, I think it's fantastic to see him sign on for a further 12 months with an option of maybe another one. So it's great.
Well, he's actually and he's actually what Manchester United is all about and what they should be about. It's a sort of soul that, if you want to use the word soul, but it's a sort of soul that Manchester United haven't had for well over a decade. My passion for Manchester United goes back to the 70s and earlier and 80s, where we weren't winning premierships. I could name the 78 FA Cup as a standout, and I could name the 82 FA Cup as a standout, and maybe the 82-84 Norman Whiteside. So correct me if I'm right on those, but and that was the other one you were looking for last week. So I've been around when it was all about Liverpool, and now Liverpool destroyed the English team's existence in Europe for a period of time, and it challenged me on that because it is the truth. So being a United supporter in the the English Premier League era has been a great thing, because I went 20 years without a winner, with just a couple of FA Cup snippets, So I don't think I'm on the bandwagon from the glory days of the Premier League, especially the treble. It's the same as what it was back then. The only difference is that the team now is so much that the soul of the team is not there. It's not Manchester United. But you could say that probably about a lot of other clubs anyway. They're not the same as they used to be because of money and the professionalism and such. But a signing like Harry Maguire, it kind of has a whiff about it.
Yeah. Agreed.
Of old style Manchester United,
Yeah, 100%. And it is. You get those funny looks when you're talking to people and who do you follow, and you tell them you're a United supporter, and they're like, just you're a United supporter. But the same as I don't remember the late 70s games. I was a little bit young. But certainly remember Ferguson, winning the FA Cup in a replay against Crystal Palace, and basically if he'd lost that game, he was gone. So, after that, we got to see some amazing, victories and some amazing moments in time. And I remember, the treble year and staying awake for the Champions League and destroying the lounge room, throwing pillows everywhere when we won, and taking the day off work and starting to drink at 7 o'clock in the morning. It's fantastic. The memories. I still watch highlights of that treble from say the quarter final, and mate, they're just unstoppable. That team was just amazing. But what they built over 20 odd years, 26 years or whatever Ferguson was there for, incredible. We got spoiled, and we're struggling now, but I think we're in the right direction. Signing Maguire, re-signing him for another 12, that's fine. That's great. They can build around that. And, and I think Carrick's doing a great job, and we'll see if he gets the job at the end of the season. But, we'll wait and see, mate.
Okay. And just to sign off on Manchester United, we'll get back to them another time, but just to sign off.
There's a lot to talk
apart
about.
from Uar's kick into the crowd, what would you quote as your favourite all-time moment? And there's been plenty, but your favourite all-time moment for Manchester United supporter?
I got two. Obviously, the Champions League final, 2 goals in injury time in Barcelona against Bayern Munich. Just remember it. It gives me shivers. And And there was a Cantona. Cantona is probably my favourite player, but again, we'll get there at another time. But a goal he scored where he picks up the ball, does a 1-2, flicks the ball over the keeper, and just stands there with that arrogance, with the collar up, hands in the air, just like, look at me. Like, love it.
Yeah.
What about yours, mate?
For me, nothing will beat Ryan Giggs' goal in the semi-final against Arsenal. Mate. Like, just
that's the same year. That's the treble year.
Exactly. The enormity of that goal to get them into the final, just to get him into the final, the enormity and what was on, and he was still a young bloke then, and the enormity of that goal and what he did and how many players he, like, you know,
But
that's
look
what
at that
Ryan
game.
Giggs was doing when he was 6. So he decided to do it at that level, you know?
100%. But you look at that game. You look at that game as a whole. It's an FA Cup semi-final. Villa Park, Arsenal, biggest rivals. You know, Keane gets sent off.
Yep.
Beckham scored a cracker in that game too.
I always forget
Schmeichel,
goals. I don't know why.
Schmeichel saves a penalty just before the end of the game.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So they score that. The game's over. Treble year's gone. You know, we could have lost the Premier League after that. We're confident. I don't know. Like, but yeah, that's a great moment, mate. That's shivers. Definitely
Beautiful. All right, here we go. Oh, number 5. Number 5. Come on down. What do we got there? I can't remember what it is. Where is it? Number 5. Oh yeah. Oh yes. You didn't want. You're not sure if you wanted this one. Troy. Now we're going to reveal that Troy is coming out of live out of Brisbane. Well,
yes.
And I'm based in on the coast in Sydney. So we're both around when the Sydney Olympics were on and the build up to the Sydney Olympics. I can remember when the roof was put on the stadium and going past there. I'd only worked around the corner. I think you only worked around the corner as well, didn't you?
Yeah, I was on Hill Road at K&S back in the day, next to the old McPhee Transport. I remember getting in the van occasionally and going and doing deliveries into the construction site of the stadium, and it was amazing.
Oh, there you go.
It was so cool. It was cool.
You just drive past, and all of a sudden there's this roof that's sitting on the field, and then in a day or two time it's up, and there's just the excitement of that going on, and the construction around Sydney. It was definitely the city of cranes.
Oh.
There was no doubt about it. Sydney was just cranes. Things were getting built left, right, and centre. I don't recall. I suppose. Look, hang on. We're very spoilt right now in Sydney. We have a road system where tunnels are everywhere, and tunnels are really good if you're a little bit if you need to get home at a late hour. But tunnels, you've got the metro trains, you've got the light rail, the train system. I got people come up from Melbourne and go, they just love flying into Sydney, and they're a 5-minute walk onto a train, and the next thing they're in the city at their hotel. So Sydney, even though it wasn't quite like that back then, Sydney has grown from then to what it is now, and transport-wise, it's amazing. I don't recall the gridlock being that bad, being bad back then. I do recall us getting told to get off the roads around Olympics time, and if you recall, if you were going into an event, you park your car somewhere, and a shite load of buses will take you into the centre. So, how's Brisbane going?
This could be a really quick conversation. I don't see anything going on. I don't know what they're doing. They've picked a site for the stadium. I believe they're going to close down the Roma Parklands soon, and it'll be turned into a construction zone. But I drive on the M1 every day up here, and mate, one car broken down. I don't know. I don't know how we're going to do it. I know we're not going to have cars on the road like for the Olympics. They're going to try and shut everything down. They will. But the transport system, mate. Don't get me started, Paul. Like, seriously, we've been in Sydney. We've been on the metro, right? We've been on the trams. I know that was all done sort of later on, but my God, Brisbane, far out. We're so far behind the times. It's not funny. Our metro system is a bus that runs on the busway. That's our metro. To me, that's not a metro. It's got to be on rails. But and the international airport. I drive through the international airport every day, like to go to work. And how the hell I don't know what they're going to do in 6 years. 6 years they've got to develop this city ready for this. I don't know, mate.
What year? What year's the Olympics?
32,
32. Oh, okay. Well,
32, 6 years.
yeah, that's right. So it's not. Well, that's not too bad.
Oh, there's a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
There's a lot of work to do.
One only announced Sydney in buddy 4 or something. We only had 6 years to build it.
Yeah.
So
There's enough people up here. There's enough people here.
now.
You know, how many people across the border into Queensland in the last couple of years? Like, there's plenty of people here, and that's why it's so congested.
Yeah.
But yeah, international airport, mate. It's like going to Thailand and getting the plane at Phuket International Airport or Chiang Mai. It's like, you know, one road in, one road out. They've got a lot of work to do, mate. A lot of work to do. So we can give an update on that later once they start turning some soil. But I'll tell you a quick funny story about a bloke that works for me, and he wants to go to the new Olympic site, and he wants us to film him running where the track's going to be, so he can break the 100-meter record or set the 100-meter record. If he does it, we'll get him on and have a chat, and I'll get a video of it because I'm definitely taking a six-pack down there while he breaks the record before they close the park down.
That's a great call. Yeah. But now you've exposed him.
Yeah, I know. So he's got to do it now. So I'll get to it. Yeah, I'll promote it.
Okay, good. Yeah, you've exposed him. He might have a few people following him, like Forrest Gump. You know,
possibly. Yes.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, funny man.
All right. Well, that's Brisbane. Okay, here we go. Ding-a-ling. We've done 2. Ding-a-ling. 2. We haven't done 4, have we?
4. What are we doing on 4?
We're doing on 4. Oh.
This is AI.
Yeah. I think this is going to pop up a few times.
Yeah.
You and I have been evolving with AI, and we'll leave some of yours to the number one.
Dedicated episode.
Yeah, we'll do that. But I spent most of Monday trying to create a tune, a little bit of a hook on AI, and much to the chagrin of my daughter, who is a very talented songwriter and musical theatre performer, and she's got enough songs to make a few albums, and one day she'll get there. But I just announced to her on Monday night that you know what I did today? I wrote and produced a whole album, and I reckon I got a couple of hits of it. And all I was doing was just throwing words into AI, throwing it into a program that created the tune, said I wanted this type of music, this style, and you're going to hear the end result at the start and the end of this program. Well, you probably heard this at the start of the program. So, and we've got ourselves a theme song for this, and I think it's going to be a hit. That just tells me,
copyright it quickly.
I don't know. Who cares? We probably should. But anyway, that's the AI. That's the things that AI can do. I use it in the last 12 to 18 months. I've progressively used it in just about everything I do. I don't speak to it. I'm not in communication with it. We're not talking back at each other. It doesn't respond to me as though it knows me that well. But I'll tell you, that if I'm sitting there and I've got no idea what I want to do today, I just ask it. And it says, why don't you do this? I go, that's a good idea. And away I go. And it's just probably how we do this podcast. Let's start off with a topic and we'll just drift off into something. That's how but I'm telling you, every document I do, there's no hesitation in throwing stuff into AI and letting it produce something while I'm doing something else. And that's the key for me, is to be able to work with one of the many platforms or AI, if they call them platforms, and just be able to save time in putting stuff together that I really don't have the brain space and the time to do anymore. You know, but and being I would consider myself a wordsmith, and being a wordsmith, I was very against AI because of it, of me being redundant. But I ended up going the other way because someone said to me, Paul, I can do something in 10 minutes and charge a month's worth of work.
Yep.
And when they said that to me, that's when it clicked. I went,
Mm.
okay. But you do have to be disciplined, and you do have to check your work. Now, you can probably expand on it a lot more than I can. I'm giving a real layman's term as to don't be scared of this. Don't be scared of
No,
this.
don't. Look, I played around for it a few years ago and got back into it probably 12 months ago and haven't looked back. And I've got a couple of stories that my wife thinks that if AI ever turns into a robot, that it's going to come and kill me because I've had some interesting conversations, and it can get frustrating sometimes, and I get frustrated back. And so unlike where you said it doesn't know you, I think AI knows me really well, and knows what direction I'm going in. It's funny because I might throw something in it at work and it'll start veering off onto, do you want this to be similar to your other project? And I'm like, no, please.
Yeah, no,
to be anything
that is
around
an
that.
issue.
But it was funny because I predominantly use ChatGPT and Gemini are my two main ones. But Chat did a similar thing to Spotify where they give you a summary, a 12-month summary of your conversations and give you a little spiel and stuff like that. And I was horrified. And there might be people out there that are more than this, but for me, who has a full-time job and only kind of uses it after hours, to see that I'd had over 36,000 conversations with ChatGPT, I was like, far out. That's a lot of discussion, right? That's a lot of discussion. But when we get to the episode where we talk about how I used it and where we're at with it, it'll be clearer. I use it every day. I very rarely use it at work, occasionally, but what I do after hours, I'm on it every day. There's been a couple of times where it said, Troy, you've had enough. You need to have a break. Go stop. Yeah, stop. So, but you get into a role. Like I'm just because I'm working on some stuff in the background and, I want it to, I like to get to the end and get it working. So interesting. And we joke about our AIs and we compete with each other about what AI is better. And and Paul and I, we talk about it, how we get one to play off the other. And it's funny because they will have a go at the others. So, I'll ask Gemini to do something for me and Chat will come back and say, I don't think so, Troy. So it's interesting to play them off against each other.
I remember saying to Siri the other week, because, I often, especially with Google Maps and Apple Maps or whatever it is, and Siri sometimes just gives you the shites, doesn't she? Like, oh, well, I've got a she anyway, and gives you shites. And I'm trying, excuse me, I'm trying to be misogynistic, but sometimes they get you angry because they're just not listening.
Yeah,
I've had to change languages just so they can understand my Australian. So, but I said to Siri the other day, I said, hey Siri, Copilot's better than you. And she goes, I don't understand what you mean. I said, I'm sure you don't. But you're right. I use it. I run it across 4 different businesses, and there is a discipline because sometimes it wants to merge your previous work. And,
you got to control it. You still control it, right? Even though it's a lot smarter than me. Yeah, it's way smarter than me. Like far out. Like what do I get it to do? It's insane. I couldn't do that ever.
No.
But you got to word it, and I've got templates like wording templates that so I can keep it consistent, the message consistent every time I get it to do stuff for me. But it's been a ride, I tell you, from using it a few years ago to where it is now, and it gets better and better every day. These guys are working on it, and yeah, they just get smarter and smarter and more stuff that you can do. And yeah,
Yeah,
it's crazy. And I look, the times I do use it at work, and I'll get it to review stuff for me, and why not? Yeah, work smarter, not harder. Like I could sit down for 4 hours and do a document or something, or get AI to help me, and it's done in half an hour. I'm still
yeah, it's
reviewing it.
crazy.
I'm still looking at it. I'm reading it, making sure, yeah, it's right. But my time's better spent doing something else. So
Yeah, you're
it's a
right.
new world, mate.
Yeah, and look, we've only just scratched.
Mm,
There's smarter people out there going to sit there and watch this and go, "Well, these guys know nothing." Well, we do know a fair bit about it. We just
yeah,
our
yeah,
audience may or may not know, and we're just scratching the surface just to
yeah.
just to,
I reckon.
to raise the
Yeah,
topic,
I
really.
reckon about episode 4 or 5, we'll get
Yeah,
to a
and
lot
don't
more
worry, I'll
on
be
it.
pumping you the questions because I've forgotten everything you told me anyway.
Yeah,
So.
it's I could talk all day on it, mate. You know that.
Yeah. All right, we're just trying to get down to the second last one, and it's the number three, and that. Oh, well, we're leaving the best to last. That's a good second best.
Mm,
Well, the last one's going to be a cracker for you, so that's good.
mm.
Um, yeah, I've got to declare, I've had an obsession for the last few months about creating playlists on Apple to a point that Troy said, oh, for our punters club, why don't you get the five blokes to all send you 20 songs in each, and we'll use those 20 songs, or 12 songs, wasn't it? 12 songs
12,
each. We'll
12
use those
songs. Yeah,
12.
yeah. Let's do 12 songs each.
Yeah, we'll use those 12 songs, and we'll create a playlist for when we go away at Scone. Well, that 60 song playlist became 120, became 180, became 240. And you think out of
Four
five
volumes.
blokes that we're submitting tunes from all walks of life and all
Yeah.
genres and all generations. And you think of that, out of that 240 songs, that we might get a few double ups in. And we didn't get it until the last 12 songs. Out of
Mm,
240 songs submitted across five blokes across a few weeks, only one double up came up in our playlist. And
incredible.
um, we thought that was quite incredible. And it probably means nothing to people listening to this. But that obsession has now grown to three of us doing playlists together, to Troy and I doing playlists together. The names of the playlists, Carver Stains,
Yep.
The Corridor of Regret.
Yep.
Um, I can't remember. Oh, I can't remember what we've called. Roll the dice. There's the roll the dice
There's a roll the dice.
playlist.
Yeah, yeah. There's a roll
Yeah,
the dice
and
playlist.
then recently, this is how bad it's got. Is my obsession is recently I thought I've been getting right back into psychedelia music, and anyone who knows me will remember my youthful days between 18 to 22, and I was right into 60s music, and you can whatever paraphernalia goes along with that is probably the reasons for it. But I've done a big deep dive into Apple Music, and I've had Apple for a long time. Funnily enough, I was Spotify initially, and then you said you should do Apple, and I said, yeah, no worries, I'll do Apple. And then the moment I
Yeah,
switched to
but
Apple,
tell the story why.
well, I wouldn't pay 99 cents to get
So
to get.
those nights discussed in episode 1 and tequila on a school night. Every couple of songs we get for 99 cents we can cut the
Yeah,
ads out.
yeah.
I was like,
It's
oh,
stuff
come
that I'm
on,
not
Paul,
paying
just pay
99
the 90.
cents.
I think I even offered to pay the 99 cents. Mate.
Yeah, yeah, you did. No, and it's the principle of the matter. But as it turns out, I'm now paying $15 or whatever it is for
Yeah,
Apple on a monthly basis. And the interesting part is, of the five blokes at the Punters Club, two of them don't have music streaming platforms, and that's not a
no.
criticism. It's just extraordinary.
Mm.
And one of them will go into their obsession about vinyl records collection. He's out of control, and going to be a really interesting story one day. It's interesting that you know that they they haven't even bothered to go
No.
down that. And whereas I cannot help myself, I'm constantly trying to make playlists. Getting back to the psychedelia, and I don't think we've got time to go through some of these bands, but it might be another show altogether. But getting back to the psychedelia, I thought, I just might put about 50 songs together, have a really tight playlist, and there's about an hour and a half's worth of music or 2 hours worth of music. I'm now down to 620 songs that I've picked from the era, and from bands that I'd not heard of,
Yeah.
and I've got a pretty deep, dark recollection of music. And they, mate, I am just absolutely mesmerised by this playlist, and it's got nothing to do with me. It's got everything to do with the fact that there's with Apple, right?
Yeah.
You can pull all this together, and of all the demonic things about Apple and Spotify and what they do to the modern music industry, and that doesn't, that certainly resonates with me, and I feel for it. Bands now have to tour more just to make money. You make an album and they're not making money anymore because dickheads like me don't mind putting it together and put them into a playlist or download them, and they're getting nothing in return. But having said that, it's just incredible. Like if you're anyone, I used to make mixtapes. Back in the day, I used to send mixtapes to friends all around the world. They're away, I'm sitting at home, I just might make a mixtape, bang, send it off. Well, this is the modern day mixtape. The only problem is I can't control it because the mixtape would only go for 90 minutes or 60 minutes. This,
It's endless.
I've got 20 to 30 hours worth of psychedelic music
Yeah.
all on my playlist. There,
Yeah.
I've
I think we
gone
spoke about it. We definitely spoke about it, because I add all mine into one big mega playlist of every song. I hear a song, I Shazam it, I throw it in. But I only worked out a couple of weeks ago that I can actually then sort that by genre through there. So we spoke about
that would
it,
make me
and you're
dreamy.
like, nah, it's too many songs, mate. Like you've just got to have and I saw it the other day, and I went, oh, there you go. There's that style of music. So it's all good. And just quickly, we spoke about this before. One of my favourite places to get new songs is the Blue Channel on Sky Racing. In the middle of the night, when you've had a big night and you're betting on the UK greyhounds and the horses, and there's a big gap, and you get these just most random songs. So I've got a lot of songs off the Sky Blue Channel. We love the Blue Channel.
I think the Blue Channel draws its inspiration from, it's a historical thing because I don't know if you recall being in the TAB, walking in the TABs back in the day, and there wasn't as much racing on. In fact, back in the day, it wasn't even a television. Things weren't even televised. Like you would just the rate the come over the radio, and then there'd just be a lull in the schedule, and on comes some gold nuggets from the 60s and 70s, and you'd just sit there and it's, oh mate, and you get, when you're old enough to walk in the tab and put a bet on yourself, you'd be standing there and they just, mid-afternoon, don't know what I was doing there, but mid-afternoon, you'd have a bet, and next thing on comes, like the Fortunes, playing their Golden Great or what, yeah. So that's, I reckon, where the Blue Channel's derived its inspiration. And it's great that Sky hasn't lost that progression over the years.
So good.
Okay,
So good.
final one. This is a good one.
Last
In
one.
fact, it's a good segue from the TAB. Number one. I don't have to. It's number one. And Troy, you had a epiphany. You had a memorable moment that's going to sit with you for a lifetime until you forget, but you don't think you're going to forget this, and that's the performance of She's Alibi on the weekend. Go for it.
Incredible. Watched the race live. Obviously she was short price favourite. But watching the race live and she's second last coming around the bend, soft 7 at Randwick and gets pushed, 12 wide, 13 wide. The way she come home, goosebumps, absolute goosebumps. First filly to win it since Sunline, who He's in my top 5 horses of all time. I remember Sunline when I was a kid. But just watching that horse just mow them down and win by 5 lengths, I think it ended up. Incredible. Incredible. We're not going to see that for a while.
Yeah,
Loved every moment of
that's
it.
good, and I think it's funny. You can recall a lot of your when you're following your kit, um, that you remember great wins that you've had when you've had a bet. But when you take appreciation of a horse, and prior to Jenny, only a few months ago, led one of the group races, and just mate, that's just
Yeah.
ballsy when you've got
Yeah.
horses just lead like that. That's
Yeah.
exciting. But the one thing that I recall is only in the recent years in Nature Strip when it was in the UK, and it took
Mm.
on the Poms, and it was such a great race, and it just took them on and blitzed them. The only problem was the stupid British commentator, probably intentionally, the arsehole, called it Nature
Give it a
Stripe
breeze.
all the way, and
No.
Nature Stripe and Nature Stripe, and you're sitting there going, "Are you serious?" You know,
Mm.
how can a bloke who
Yeah.
commentates every race and gets every program right
Yeah.
get it wrong on the Aussie horse? You know,
Oh,
like
look,
arrogant.
it's crazy. But
Yeah.
we've been blessed with good horses in this country, and we all went through the Black Caviar, Winks, Mackay Divas, the Sunlines, and just the list goes on and on and on. But it's so good to see that we're producing great horses here in the country still, and yeah, if you love the racing, you love horses, and you love what it's about. That's you hear a lot of the pundits talking about it this week, and it's goosebumps. That was a great win. That was a great
I'm
win.
going to probably put a few links up at the end of this, and one of them will be a link to YouTube for a race back in 1986, 7, I think it is, and Pablo's Pulse defeating Campaign King, the odds-on favourite of Campaign King in the wet, and it might have been around Easter. I can't remember what the race was. Now, Pablo's Pulse came in at 500 to 1. And
Incredible.
yours truly had 50 cents each way on it for the punters club. So not only did I have a bet on it, I had a bet on it for the other 12 or 14 blokes in the punters club. And
Love
didn't
it.
we celebrate? Everyone was on Pablo's Pulse. And we will never forget it. So that, to me, yeah, I know She's Alibi was pretty good, but Pablo's
Impressive.
Pulse beating Campaign King in the wet, in the bog at 500 to 1, nothing beats that.
Yeah. I've been to plenty of country meetings, mate. You see a horse running home, and he's like, "Well, that's the best win I've ever seen." But that's incredible.
Yeah.
That's definitely up there. So,
All right. Well,
great start to the carnival.
well, I think that'll do it, mate. I think
Yep.
we thought we might be able to get this under time, but I don't think it matters. I think we just go for it, and whether we do it in 20 or 30 or 40 or 50, who cares? Let's just
Look,
do it.
the
You'll
whole
see the
thing, yeah,
snippets on all the
yep,
platforms, and you know,
yeah,
the best bits will be sorted out, and the worst bits
yep,
will probably get sorted out worse.
yep,
I think we've done all right. I'm happy to leave it at this. I'm looking forward to hopefully between now and next week we'll get our first guest on. I think
yep.
by that stage, our fans, and there's a good 30 of them out there now, our fans, our fans would have had enough of just listening to us two talking to each other about
Yeah,
ourselves.
it's time.
I am very keen, as I said last week, I'm very keen in getting into some of these guests. They are, I'm looking forward to the first one. We've moved all this around. We want to get this guy before Australia gets to him,
Yeah.
if they haven't got to him already. So
So
we're
follow
done.
us.
Okay.
Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. We'll put
Yep.
the links up.
They'll be
Like,
there.
share, promote, talk about it, roll the dice.
Yeah, and if
Get
they're
us,
not
get us
there,
going.
they'll be there somewhere.
Yes.
Hey, we're still working through it. There's still some stuff. I'm
Yeah. Hey,
getting some
look.
good advice, but yeah,
Yeah, there's been some improvements this week. My camera quality is a lot better this week. I'm running off my my iPhone camera now, and taught myself how to do that. But I've still got this light shining on my head. But
yeah,
in the
yeah,
next couple of weeks, my studio is going to change from my house where I am now to an apartment in the city. So yeah, there could be some live location recordings from a few bars.
yeah,
That
yeah.
could be interesting. So
Your iPhone and laptop might fly off the balcony. Look,
potentially.
from where I'm sitting, it looks like my shirt wants to keep jumping off my back. So I don't know what it's going to look like. Who cares? And look, we've done it. Episode
We're
2's
done.
out. We're now rolling in the deep end, and let's go. Thank you very much. Have a great week, everybody, and enjoy yourselves.
See you next week.
Bye.
Whispers in the dark, the night ignites. A shadow game under neon lights. Step into the room, heart beats like a drum. Fate's on the edge, nowhere to run. Eyes meet the stairs, tensions in the air. Every move's a